Hello, my brilliant and beautiful Capricorn friends. I'm out traveling, but someone let me know that the Capricorn audio for November 2025 horoscope was a bit distorted, and that is absolutely unacceptable. So in this video, you can just click or just stay tuned, and the Capricorn only horoscope is going to be located in here with nice crisp audio for you, so you can make sure you get all of the details for your month. Now, as always, I'm going to suggest that you go to the November 2025 video and listen to at least the general overview, because there's a little bit in there as well that will cover some important things for the month. And as always, grab your own natal chart, because the very best astrology is your astrology. So enjoy your November. Please let me know, Capricorn, how it goes for you in the comment section down below. I love you a ton, and I will see you in crisp audio happening for December. Hello, my absolutely brilliant and beautiful Capricorn friends, and welcome to your horoscope for 2025, where November Capricorn brings a pretty powerful undercurrent for you, because much of your energy is turned inwards as Mars and the Sun and then later Venus are going to be cycling throughout your 12th house of the space of the unseen realm. You may feel like you are behind the curtain or working on yourself or your peace, or you're in your private plans. Yet we're also going to see that Uranus comes back into fellow earth sign Taurus, and this re-electrifies that fifth house of love, joy, pleasure, and play for you. So you're also being asked to rediscover what makes you truly feel alive. It's an introspective but really creative charged month for you. And I think it's one where breakthroughs happen, but they happen in ways that are a little bit more silent, or they're about your inner world, which later translate into that outer transformation. All right, my beautiful Capricorns, as always, as you're listening to these, please make sure that you have your own individual natal chart so that you can really see where this is happening for you, because the best astrology is your astrology. All right, Capricorn, into the month we go. Right at the beginning of the month, and it is a busy month, so buckle in, we have a lot to talk about. On the 4th, we're going to see that Mars enters into the vibration of Sagittarius. So Mars coming into Sagittarius lights your 12th house space up. It's activating your subconscious. You might feel a little bit more driven to retreat or reflect or work privately on something that is more meaningful to you. It can be a really sacred time for doing that spiritual maintenance. You know, whether that's therapy, meditation, that creative solitude, but also it's a great time of year for you to tie up the energetic loose ends. You know, in daily life, you might be more tired than normal also, and crave that alone time, especially if things have been feeling particularly busy. Now, some of you might also find yourself confronting old frustrations, hidden resentments, unfinished emotional business. And that's a bit of the pain point at this particular transit, because Mars is still Mars. It's here to cut through and cut away what doesn't belong anymore. So if there has been built up anger, guilt that's been seeping out, and it's seeping out through your dreams, through very passive reactions, maybe even burnout, then the gift of Mars being here is using this transit to cleanse spiritually, to work through what's been buried, to prepare for rebirth when Mars steps into your sign next, and you have this powerful drive to be able to go forward. Now, on the 5th, we've got a full moon happening at 13 degrees of Taurus. This is going to light up that 5th house space. The full moon is asking us to end something, acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment. Now, this is around joy, pleasure, play, romance, expression, children, and it's bringing a culmination. Maybe it's a culmination to a project or a love story, or maybe even just your relationship with fun and joy in and of itself. You know, some of you, I was thinking about this, you're an earth sign. So you may be finishing a creative project or phase of your life, and you realize what does and does not even feel good in your bones anymore. You know, you're like, nah, that doesn't inspire me anymore. But at the end of the day, I think that this lunation is asking you, are you creating from your own voice, from authenticity, or are you creating out of obligation? You know, maybe you've been playing a role to please other people, or holding out on a romantic dynamic, let's call it that, that feels familiar, but it's stale. Maybe you're parenting in a way where you're like, well, is that how I would parent my child? Or is that what I was just taught? So the pain point, because every transit comes with its own pain point. And I think the pain point here is realizing that some sources of pleasure or what would bring joy into your life have become predictable. They're hollow. It's not really what's you. But the gift here is to reclaim what is. Reconnect with what makes your soul light up, your art, your humor, your desire. Let that take a tangible lead in your life. On the 6th, we see Venus entering into the vibration of Scorpio. Now, this is going to light up that 11th house for you. And Venus is not a hustle hard planet. Let me bang that from the rooftops. Venus is not a hustle hard planet. This is an attracting in energy. But in the 11th house of friendships, community, your goals, dreams, and aspirations for yourself, your social media, there's a deepening in any way that you are socially or collaboratively tied to others. And this is about magnetic connections, right? Soul friends, powerful networks, creative alliances that have emotional depth and weight. So maybe you're bonding quite deeply with a small circle of people, or you're joining a new group that really inspires you. Maybe you're transforming a friendship, but it's only getting to that transformation because there's been a lot of honesty drawing you closer and more deeply into the intimacy of that relationship. Now, Venus in Scorpio is still in Scorpio, so the intensification of dynamics can also bring jealousy, possessiveness, the feeling of I feel outside of the tribe. These things can definitely present themselves. But the opportunity as they're coming up, I think, is first of all to allow depth and vulnerability to show you what's really coming up, and then build the honest, true trust from that position. Because this is when you're going to find out the people who see and support you as you really, truly are on your path, right? It's not going to be from anything performative. On the 7th, big day, Uranus is re-entering into the vibration of Taurus. So again, more excitement into that 5th house. Now, Uranus retrograding back at 29 degrees of Taurus. It's reawakening the lessons about the love, joy, pleasure, play, children, creativity that you started working on in 2018. When Uranus was in Taurus before, you were learning about liberating this expression, this joy, about taking a risk with your art, your heart, your parenting, your pleasure. Now, Uranus briefly shoved forward into Gemini earlier this year, and so that focus shifted to what's going on in your health, your daily routine, your work system, your habits. But now, as it's returning back to Taurus, it's reminding you that you can't fully evolve into your outer world without reconnecting with what actually sparks inner joy, right? Expect surprises, expect romantic shifts, expect creative inspiration out of nowhere or unpredictable dynamics with your children coming up. Now, Uranus is coming back to see how we've done in the lesson base. So, yeah, disruption is the word. Your romantic life gets a disruption, or you're feeling so uninspired, like you're in some kind of creative dry spell or something, maybe a little burnout. The gift here is to tell the truth. I'm burnt out. I don't like this. This doesn't match for me. And allow yourself the privilege to rediscover the freedom to play, to create, to love without rules, to parent in a way that feels like it is in alignment with your moral being. Because Uranus here, really in Taurus at 29 degrees, says, be brave enough to enjoy your life differently, even if it makes you a little uncomfortable at first. Now, on the 9th, we've got Mercury going retrograde at 6 degrees of Sagittarius in this 12th house space, and it's turning your mind inward. Communication becomes more subtle. It's a time where dreams and intuition and hidden thoughts speak louder than words, and never underestimate the power of body language. Oh my goodness. So this can be a time where you maybe are uncovering secrets, or you realize patterns that were running the show in the background of your life. You know, in daily life, misunderstandings are likely. It's a Mercury retrograde, you know, especially if you're doing something through text or email, or if there's like vague communication. This is a great place for a Mercury retrograde slip up to occur. And that's okay. We don't hide under rocks because of it, but you just need to learn to navigate it. Now, if old behaviors or anxieties resurface, or you're feeling mentally foggy around something, the overthinking, the self-doubt, the misreading, or thinking you know what other people are thinking, that can appear at this time. And it is a great opportunity to pause and reflect and release, right? I love this because in Sagittarius with Mercury retrograde, the statement can be, maybe I don't see the whole big picture here. And that is a great place to reflect and release. Journal, meditate, talk to your spiritual mentor. This Mercury retrograde can actually heal relationship with silence and that pause in and of itself if you let it. On the 11th, we've got now Jupiter stepping into retrograde at 25 degrees of Cancer, just across the street in your 7th house of partnerships, conscious, chosen, one-on-one relationships. Now, it's asking you to review the relationship dynamics, particularly because as Jupiter came into Cancer, it expanded this area. It got very big, very fast, right? Over this last handful of months since May. So you might be reviewing a marriage, a business partnership, some kind of significant or important one-on-one connection. Maybe you're reevaluating how much you give versus how much you receive. You know, looking at a relationship and realizing it needs balance, or revisiting some kind of old connection or old contract to renegotiate it is a beautiful thing to do, because we need to trim the fat here a little. Whatever's gotten really big needs to come down to moderation. Now, Jupiter is such a delicious planet that I think as it retrogrades, sometimes what we can run into is disappointment. Right? We're disappointed that this partnership is not meeting my expectations. And what does that mean? Do I leave the partnership, or, you know, have I just had my reality checked that it is not all, you know, butterflies and and good stuff, that there's some reality in here and that I might need to do some changing in order for this relationship to grow. And the gift here, I think, is rediscovering what that means. What's the meaning of cooperation? What's the meaning of mutual respect? Because Jupiter here is going to say and remind us that the wisdom of Jupiter is that healthy relationships start with looking at emotional honesty and the bigger picture instead of just the immediate moment. All right, on the 18th, we've got that Mercury retrograde coming back into the vibration of Scorpio. It's going to re-enter into your 11th house, bringing that review to your friendships, your future goals, your community spaces. So if you hear from that old friend, or reconsider a project or a collaboration that once inspired you and now you're back involved with it, I love that. So remember, though, it's still a Mercury retrograde. So miscommunication or conflict in communities with your teams, this is very possible. So just refine, be graceful if you can. Mercury's review process helps you to see who and what deserves a place in your future and deserves your attention at all. Now, on the 20th, we've got a bit of a busy day, okay? So first of all, we've got the new moon happening at 28 degrees of Scorpio. So again, the 11th house getting some love. But on the same day, we'll see Uranus and Neptune come into a sextile. Now, this new moon is going to be an opportunity to plant your seeds of intention and have a powerful reset around your community, your connection, and your vision. It's the time to plant those intentions for who do you want to collaborate with? Who do you want to be in network with? What's the new creative goal for you coming down the pipeline, right? Now, with Uranus at 29 degrees of Taurus, sextile Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces, this is a conversation between the 5th and the 3rd houses in connection. This is the place where there's this blending of how you make value in the new world. where your imagination and where your communication come together to achieve that. So for some of you, it could look like you're starting a podcast. We're in the digital revolution. It could look like, oh, I hope it looks like you're joining the YouTube challenge. I would love to see you in there. Maybe you're joining some other creative collective body in some way, or you're sharing a message that really is inspiring other people. But the challenge, even under the deliciousness of a sextile, is letting go of old dreams or people that don't align anymore, coming forward into the world that is currently being shaped around you. And the gift is to align your voice, your art, and your message with a new soulful truth that allows you to live in the current world really authentically. On the 21st, we see the sun enter into Sagittarius, into the 12th house. It's joining Mars in a very quiet, restful closure, solitude area of your chart. And this is your cosmic hibernation period before Capricorn season is going to begin. So, don't force productivity now. Instead, allow the space for reflection, the spiritual reconnection, the healing, the letting go before it's birthday time. It is so natural for you at this time to start to pull away a little, pull away from the public eye. Trust that. This is not a retreat. It's a recalibration for yourself. And it can be scary because you are a get it done kind of energy, right? And that fear of feeling unseen or I'm unsure about the direction. It's okay, because the gift here is you're going to be building a strength in the stillness. And the quieter you can become, the more guidance you will hear. And when it is your season, you are going to be able to launch out and love what you are putting into the world. On the 27th, we see Saturn coming direct at 25 degrees of Pisces, lighting up that third house space. Okay. The third house being about communication, learning, early learning, contracts, siblings. Now, earlier this year, Saturn took a dip into Aries, so started to test the boundaries around home, family, real estate, property, right? But returning to Pisces, it reminded you that the way that you speak to yourself and of your life is shaping your world. So now that Saturn is in direct motion, it's helping you to apply those lessons. So this could mean, okay, practically, you're committing to a writing project. Or maybe you are building more healthy communication habits or study habits, or you're studying or building a course for long term. The challenge, I think, here again is that the progress is so slow that it can feel like mental fatigue. It's really the place where the spirit and the mind meet and you realize you can't rush them. Because the gift here is maturity in your speech and your thought. Realizing that your words in every way, from how they radiate out into the world to how they radiate through your being, carry authority, so we must use them well. On the 29th, Mercury now coming direct at that 20 degrees of Scorpio, back, of course, into this 11th house space. Ooh, clearing a little bit of the static in friendships and team efforts. The plans can begin to solidify, conversations resolve, your sense of direction with your community maybe strengthens or feels like it has more purpose. Again, maybe this is a reconciling after some kind of conflict, or that group project you've been working on, now you can launch it out. There's just a lot of clarity. It's more clear, grounded vision, particularly around your future. And more importantly, I think, Capricorn, about your future and the people that belong in it. As we're going to close out this month, I think we are closing with a delicious sweetness. Venus is slipping into your 12th house, into Sagittarius. So it's softening your energy, inviting that emotional healing. And again, you might be craving peace, quiet. This is Venus in the 12th house, friend. Maybe there's some love matter that is happening in private or behind the scenes right now. Whatever it is, it's being done in the quiet, in the space of retreat. And in that retreat and recalibration, you're refilling your cup before your season begins. You're practicing receiving in the silence. You're reconnecting to that spirit, feeling more drawn to compassionate outlets, creative projects. But again, it can be a fear of loneliness. Am I going to be alone for the rest of my life? Even if you're married, if you're feeling alone, right? This fear can be there. I don't know how to grow here. The gift here, though, is first of all rediscovering your own tenderness, right? Rediscover your own tenderness. By softening now, you are preparing for a really radiant return next month when Venus is also going to be moving forward and coming towards your sign. So, Capricorn, listen, November is your soul's recharge month. And while it may feel a bit more quiet or a bit more heavy at times, it's sacred work behind the scenes. Mars, Venus, the Sun, your 12th house, there's so much clearing of emotional residue for the year and preparing to close the 2025, 24 to 25 cycle, right? That there is a lot going on so that you can emerge as your season comes around with more strength, more focus, and more heart. All right, my beautiful Capricorn friends, let me know how November plays out for you in the comment section down below. I love you, and I will see you along with everybody else with beautiful audio in December of 2025.